we were just talking about this disincarnate intelligence, and th- in short, it's an intelligence, a consciousness or awareness that exists without a physical body. You know, it's like one of those ghosts in your freaking basement or in the attic, you could say. It's there, like it's hiding near that freaking trash can. It's one of those conjuring demons or Insidious was a fucking creepy movie, man. Like, let me talk about that in a second. This is catching up with, and I believe this is the 39th episode. We're just continuing off the previous episode where we just started to discuss about disincarnate intelligence, and I was like, let's put it in another episode. And yeah, man, freaking, it's the same day. It's December 2nd, Tuesday, and consciousness and awareness. It's like if you put out a prayer or like a belief in the world, like you fucking write, if you're imagine one of those pirates and you write up a letter and you roll it up, you put it in a bottle on it and throw it. Is that some sort of like you put out this energy or you put out this message in a bottle, this energy in a bottle, even though it's written down, I understand that. But it's like, does that mean that this consciousness, this energy is just floating out in the sea? And imagine if one of those mermaids or, I don't know, UFOs in the sea just happens to find it. Happens to find it, like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? And it's like, ooh, this is a pirate who's, you know, and do they learn from it in a way? Like, they're like, holy shit, this pirate in the sea, he probably has low vitamin C and shit, and he wrote this for, I don't know, his wife, his buddies, somebody. And it's like, do they open it up and read and just put it back? I wanted to discuss one more thing before we start with the disincarnate intelligence. We were talking about Insidious. Man, Insidious. That movie gave me the fucking creeps, man. That's like one of those doctors who cut these children's balls, that freaking Taylor guy, that Taylor demon, the red demon from, I think, Insidious 2 or 3. That's what I imagine those doctors to look like who take away these children's genitals and just tell them like, no more, you know. And you were, I don't even get it, bro. It's like you take away the genitals. It's almost like you take away 50% of the soul in a way. At least in my opinion, man. That's like 25 and 25, you know what I mean? It's like you take away those two, you're like, fuck. What do you have now? I mean, you could put up like a fake thingy, a belt or some shit there. Otherwise, if they just took the two of those things, your family jewels, now you're just left with a fucking limp dick. That's a fucking, you know, painful, sad. I would love to talk to these victims, not every one of them, but who is open enough to talk about them, talk about their freaking experience. Like, what happened to them? Like, who coerced them? Who fucking brainwashed them into thinking like, you know, this will just regrow in the future or some shit. Yeah, man. Insidious was a really freaking creepy movie that fucked me up as a child. And then the other movie was Conjuring. That fucked me up too. That fucked me up really bad, especially that scene where I think it was Conjuring 2 where the mother gets freaking possessed by the vomiting bitch, you know. Oof, that was freaking crazy. But yeah, man, I want to read up a little bit about like those mushrooms. Brian Johnson, bro, he took mushrooms. Let me just quickly search effects of taking. Psy- Like there's, I'm not talking about your daily, everyday use mushrooms. I'm talking about those mushrooms, those psychedelic mushrooms, where you take those mushrooms, now you're just shifting in between your brain and your brain. Yeah, it's it's a crazy experience where you're seeing these geometrical shapes. This is all what I heard. Like you're seeing these geometrical shapes when as soon as you take these psychedelic mushrooms, it kicks in within 30 minutes, an hour, depends on you. You're seeing these dimensional beings talking to you. You're hearing voices. You're looking at yourself, looking at yourself, looking at yourself, and you're like, wow, what the fuck is happening? You know, it's a crazy world. I want to say psychedelic, psychedelic mushrooms. Yeah, so, bro, fuck this AI thing. It's annoying, not interested. Fuck your AI. Um, Altered perception and consciousness, intense emotions and mood changes, spiritual or mystical experiences. Fucking Santa Claus shows up, man. For some people, that's true, you know. And he really does. You Tooth Fairy, Santa Claus, Chupacabra, vampires. Yeah, I don't know. Power Rangers. Some weirdos. They might dream of that. What else, man? Ben 10. Imagine that. Fuck. Jimmy Neutron, bro. That fucking kid shows up when I take some freaking mushrooms. I'd be fucking looking at his hair like, bro, that's an inverted ice cream. Like, how the fuck did you achieve that shape? This is a talking ice cream right now that's speaking to me. Inverted talking ice cream. That would be crazy. Danny fucking Phantom. Like, I'm talking about cartoons, but if you're into movies, man, I don't know what you'd see. Honestly, I don't know. Minions, I don't know if that's a movie. Uh, Fuck, man. Bro, I start seeing Inception on mushrooms. I will be fucked up probably for the rest or like for a month or two, I would say. You watch Inception on mushrooms, you're fucked. I want to. Did anyone do that, man? If anyone hears this ever, did anyone eat mushrooms and watch Inception? Oh my God. Or maybe Interstellar, but Inception would fuck you up even more, I would say. Holy shit. What would happen? Like, will you start believing that you are in an inception, like you are in a dream world, and now you don't know if you're awake or not? Like, that would mess you up. Oh, all right. Some of the physical, psychological effects, which we were just reading, also include like distorted thinking, potential therapeutic benefits, which are pretty much coming true with the. I believe we saw some of that with psilocybin mushrooms, and then there was one more mushroom. I can't remember the name. Uh, Fuck. But generally, like we do eat a lot of mushrooms. They're pretty good for us. They have all these micro and macronutrients. Some of them which are very, very freaking helpful for our brains. Lion's mane is a really good one. You have the shiitakes, then you have the regular brown mushrooms, the white mushrooms, button mushrooms, and then those Chinese fucking mushrooms, the grass mushrooms, which always annoyed me for some reason. The fucking maybe I don't know how to cook them, but every time I cook these fucking things, they fucking become like thin and they almost disappear. And when I put them, like try to steam them or some shit, I end up eating them half cooked, and then I have to shit. So I stopped eating those grass ass mushrooms. I rather prefer the big brown mushrooms. Fuck, I can't remember their names. Or the shiitakes or the button mushrooms. But yeah, all right. So physical effects, cardiovascular changes, gastrointestinal issues, aka your stomach issues, other physical sensations like dilated pupils, muscle weakness, twitching. Imagine one guy just fucking twitching in the corner. Like he ate mushroom, now he's just fucking just twitching in the fucking corner, yawning, sweating, and chills. Bad trips, like now they're talking about long-term concerns, bad trips, misidentification, and poisoning. This is basically like a panic attack. Mental health issues, flashbacks, and HPPD. I don't know what that is. Hallucinogen persisting perception disorder. Jeez. Interactions, legal status. What the fuck? Changes your freaking legal status, bro. But yeah, man. So these mushrooms are something like psychedelic mushrooms. I want to see somebody's like somebody actually taking and talking about it on Reddit or some shit. Because I remember like one of my friends, he took freaking mushrooms in Thailand, and me and Fahad were talking about it on the podcast as well. But to keep it short, he took them and he he had a flight. He had to come back here, and this guy somehow ended up on the luggage counter. Like he put himself there in the luggage counter, and he was just traveling on that freaking luggage thing. And people were like screaming at him, but he was so high that he first he felt like he was on the freaking thingy going with the luggage, and then he actually put himself there, and now he was just going on the luggage, like pretty much acting like a piece of luggage because he was so high on fucking mushrooms. And he was like, I couldn't get out of, like, I couldn't stop feeling like a luggage. And then people had to take him off and set him down, give him water and I don't know, magic water and some tonic and shit. Eventually, he snapped out of it, but he missed his flight. He had to take another flight. Yeah, like from what I've heard, like it is helping people who have PTSD. It's like this, like you need like people who build beliefs, habits, they need a stronger experience initial to the experience which made them believe or actually adopt this habit. So this psychedelic mushroom actually creates maybe a 5 or a 10 times stronger feeling or an experience which is very real to them, which breaks this belief or this habit. This is my perception of what the psychedelic mushrooms actually do if they are like if they're given with experts like people who know what happens and all of that. It essentially breaks those limiting beliefs in a way and creates these new limitations for them. Yeah, yeah, man. And yeah, we were going for disincarnate intelligence, and I was connecting all of this to freaking mushrooms. Like when people actually see these beings and stuff. So essentially, what if, let's discuss this. What if when you take these mushrooms, so essentially you're in such a heightened state of experiencing stuff that you start picking up on even the most sensitive or even the most um, low frequency energies or um, consciousness or ideas in a way where these disincarnate intelligence, aka an awareness or a consciousness without a body, so the spiritual thingy starts to actually manifest in front of you, and you're like, ooh, what is this? What is this now? My nose is itchy for some reason, I don't know why. But this spiritual thingy, which most of these guys who take this psychedelic mushroom see, often tell them about themselves. Like the person who is experiencing this hears things about themselves or things which are very similar to the stuff people are hearing. Um, there was an experiment with, I think, opium or like some sort of a drug where two soldiers were confined in a space and they were given this hallucinogen. And these guys, they are not connected in any way. They don't know each other, but I believe they were soldiers. This is what I know. So somehow these guys were just there and they were hallucinating. And one guy actually started hallucinating. He took out an imaginary cigarette and lit it up. This was all happening while he's hallucinating, right? And the observer is seeing this guy is taking out a cigarette. It's not, there's no cigarette there. He's lighting it up with an imaginary lighter and he's smoking it. And then you see this guy who's having this hallucinations offer the other guy. The other guy is just speaking to himself and he's just speaking into the air and he's hallucinating as well. But you see the first guy take out the pack of cigarettes imaginary and offer it to the first guy, and the first guy actually says, no, I don't smoke. Or like he takes a cigarette and starts smoking with him, something where it's like they started sharing the hallucination while not being connected on any level. And it's like, whoa, that's freaking interesting. Like imagine, I think they achieved this where you can start um, entering each other's fucking dreams now, spying on your friend, what he's doing in those freaking dreams, you know what I mean? Twinking around or twerking around, some friends freaking, they want to twerk and shit. So, and I'm talking about guys here. If you ask me, how do I know this? You better not ask. You know what I mean? PTSD. Anyway, uh, you see these guys, man, in their dreams, it will be a fucking nightmare. And I mean, even your freaking friends, even my friends, man, every other guy, yeah, not a good idea, man. So what if these mushrooms, what I was coming to, these mushrooms essentially open us up to these different frequencies where we can start interacting with these disincarnate intelligence. You could also call them demons, you could also call them angels, you could also call them anything and everything which you can't see, but you believe that they exist. or maybe that they do exist. I would put jinn in there, personally. Jinn, that they are one of these creatures. I believe like there's more creatures. There is just not one. I mean, of course, I know there are animals and there, all these different things, but I think there are different beings as well, not just like two, three beings. There are other beings too. I don't know what they are. Fucking meteorites, if they could be called. I don't know, that's not the right thing. Or comets. What if fucking comets are these freaking hive mind microbial space pirate ships in a way? Imagine that. Like they're just fucking in the cosmos of stars, the sea of stars, and they're just cruising around, just emitting this yellow or orange, pink, whatever the fuck smoke they can create. Like you keep zooming out, and what if that turns out to be just a cell in a huge cosmic body, and we turn out to be, just another cell. Earth is like a cell for this cosmic body. That fucks up my mind. Like if you keep zooming out, you'll get fucked up, or if you keep zooming in, you'll get fucked up. Because if you keep zooming in, now you're just going into the, what do you call it? Fucking Ant-Man's world. Shit, I can't remember the name. You start seeing tardigrades and shit. God, those freaking microscope unicorns, you know what I mean? You start seeing fucking COVID, these man-made COVID demons. Rec 1 had a pretty good concept where demons were using this. Sorry for spoiling anyone out there, but essentially demons had this virus or bacteria which was spreading and making other people possessed slash zombie. That was fucking cool. That was a good concept for Rec 1 and Rec 2 and Rec 3 and 4. Yeah. So this fucking these things, I think they were real. They are real. And certain substances, certain heightened state of awareness, you could say, or use of drugs or chemicals, I think enable us to somewhat communicate. Not actually communicate, but somewhat communicate, where we are fucking just using sign languages. We're just, it's like we both don't know sign languages, and I'm just doing this to you, like this fucking guy. What is he doing? Is he a crab? Like, what is he trying to do? And then he starts doing this, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? So all of this is just like somewhat a sign signaling game, I would say. I could be wrong. Maybe if they're fucking speaking to you and shit. God, I hope they don't know about the weird shit that you do. You know what I mean? Don't talk about me. You do weird shit and take some mushrooms, and I hope they find out. That would be messed up though. Imagine they start fucking spewing shit about me. Now I'm fucked up. I'm done. Yeah. This was something I read about recently. Flickering lights are essentially everywhere, and flickering lights make you overstimulated. I don't know if this is something recent, but this is what I read recently. Flickering lights, overstimulation. Stimulation. Yeah, flickering lights can cause overstimulation and sensory overload in many individuals, leading to discomfort, headaches, dizziness, or anxiety. This is particularly common in people with conditions like ADHD or autism spectrum disorder due to differences in how their brains process visual stimuli. And I would say the part where they're saying um, it's common with people with conditions, I think it's generally pretty disturbing for everybody. And I'm not talking about just some flickering light, but the overload of flickering lights over a long period of time, somewhat it indicates to your brain in a certain way where it's overloading every day. So it's built up fatigue in a way. That's what I think it is. And then finally, we have fucking parasite fucking cleanse. Now there are people telling you to eat. Like I saw a guy, he was saying like this fit guy, I don't know what his name is. He offered him this parasite cleanse, and we all know that our bodies are just this huge, um, this huge organism with a biodiverse bacterial and I don't know viruses and bacterias and all these tardigrades and everything living on us, in us, microbes and everything. So our body is this living, breathing ecosystem. That's what I'm trying to say. A living, breathing ecosystem which is self-sufficient and almost like self-balancing in a way. And parasite cleanse is an idea which is okay. So you want to take out 3 feet tapeworms which are living happy and healthy in my, I don't know where, honestly, but you want to take them out. And they want to take out your 6 feet freaking tapeworms too. You know what I mean? Yeah, you have 6 feet ones. There's one that's like 6.5 feet. Don't ask me how I know that. But anyway, so this guy who was healthy and happy had a like a bunch of 3 feet freaking tapeworms, and he was drinking this lemon seeds, lemon freaking cover, and orange seeds, chia seeds, like this detox where every morning he would wake up and drink this, and within I think 48 hours he started shitting worms and parasites and everything. So I wonder, like, do those really exist? Because I remember my dad once told me that my grandfather had tapeworms and they gave him some sort of medicine. My grandfather, he drank some medicine. He drank that potion, that anti-worm potion. Yeah, anti-worm potion. And then he was vomiting and shitting tapeworms that were just too long, too long. And I mean, my dad experienced that, you know. I wonder, like, how was the scenario like? Like, was he watching his father just, you know, just pulling out the worms and shit? Like, what was going on? Um, so I guess that's true. I mean, you've seen those videos on YouTube and shit where the bears are just running with these fucking 7, 8 feet long tapeworms just hanging out their ass. So that's true pretty much, I would say. But yeah. These fucking guys, they are testing us in a way, I would say, with these parasite cleanse. I wonder, like, would you just try it for the sake, like, would you take a chance and say, you know what, maybe there's a worm living in me, some creepy worm, and I will drink this. And what if the worm actually starts coming out? Uh, That's when you start getting that fucking. Maybe I should have taken that fucking psychedelic mushroom, you know what I mean? Maybe you could have a chance to communicate with that fucking worm before it comes out. It would tell you about all the good memories and shit. I don't know. That would be fucking crazy if you start speaking to worms after you take a fucking mushroom. God, bro. I think those mushrooms actually do break a bunch of people as well, where they take too much of it, and now you're like, is he in control, or did the mushroom just take over? Because that could happen too, I would say. And then people just went go to these freaking mountains and shit. They become this genderless guru, and they're like, God, now they're messed up. I was seeing one fucking guy, but I fucking blocked him. I was like, fuck off. Why do I keep seeing this weird white man wearing um, Indian yogi dress with long hair, very gay appearance? Yeah, and he's blowing a whistle and shit, and he's talking about the universe and how the universe is speaking, and like, this is this is a no-go area. This guy's fucking crazy. Maybe he had a bad mushroom, you know what I mean? But yeah, I'm pretty much done. I'm pretty much done, and I'll speak to you probably tomorrow.